Hello, I'm ABX and welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about bannable items for Minecraft Console. So if you don't already know, Minecraft Console has a lot of exclusive limitations the other versions of the game don't have. So for instance, there's a limit to the number of entities you can place, and there's also a limit on the world size, and therefore the number of blocks in the world. So by taking advantage of this and placing the maximum number of entity, or by taking all of the blocks in the world, you can essentially make that item extinct or ban it from your world, and this has quite a few advantages, whether it's just like, I want to ban it from everyone else in the world, or just, I want only me to have this thing. You can do quite a few interesting things in a Minecraft Console Survival world, and we're talking about what those things are today. So please do like it if you do like it, because it helps out the channel a lot and lets me know you do like it. And a quick heads up before we start, this is as a result of a lot of people requesting it on the armor stand video, because I did mention there how armor stands only have 16 of them per max, and yeah, that was kind of a start of a conversation, because if you place all 16 armor stands in one little obsidian cube, then it means if no one finds that cube and destroys them, no one else in the entire world can ever place armor stands again. And a lot of people were intrigued by that concept, because although, it's been possible for a lot of different items, armor stands are by far the easiest item to ban. And you might think then, why would you want to ban things? So there's three major reasons I can think of. The first one is for giggles, so it's like, no one can place armor stands, or something like that. The second one is for currency reasons. It doesn't work with armor stands, but it works with items. If there is only, 120 items in supply, and only you have access to them, you can treat yourself kind of like a bank and be fair and make a currency on a survival server maybe. And the third reason is because you really don't like the thing. So for instance, minecarts are something you can ban. If you really hate minecarts, that's fine. If you really hate item frames because they reduce the lag, there's a clever way around actually having, no item frames in the world, and we're going through all the things that you can actually ban in today's video and why you'd want to. So let's start with the armor stands. Pretty simple. You can ban them by placing 16 in a hole. You can sometimes go over that limit, so try saving and doing all that crazy stuff, and it might go up in the future, but for now, just have an obsidian cube, put some armor stands in there, boom, armor stands are banned. I think, honestly, I doubt there's many people that want to ban armor stands, but because it's the easiest, it's a fun concept to try out. Maybe just do this one, sometime, and see if your friends notice, and maybe try and confuse them. That's just the first idea here. That's armor stands. So the second thing you might want to ban is item frames. So this is the one on the list that I think has the most kind of cause to ban it, because item frames and paintings share a cap, and that cap is something like 150. If you put all 150 in the same space, you can make like an entire section of a Minecraft world lag, and if you don't want people doing that to you, because you think they'll troll you, or because you just, think people have crazy chest rooms full of it, what you can do is you can place 150 paintings, and because paintings and item frames share the same, limit, you can basically make it so without all the lag, you ban item frames to the world. It's a handy little thing to do, and it's something worth mentioning. So yeah, paintings, item frames can both be banned. You can ban one by having a lot of the other, or just ban both. Well, you have to ban both, I guess, but you can do that by having that way it works like that. So yeah, item frames, paintings, and armor stands, but what about more tangible, more, kind of missed things? So minecarts and boats are the two examples that a lot of people don't actually know have a cap on them. So the cap used to be reasonably high, like 30, and then they doubled it in the TU31 update or something like that, and then they doubled it again recently, I believe, because now you can have, I think it's over 100 minecarts and over 100 boats at the same time. And just in case you don't believe it, you're like, no way there's a cap on minecarts, I've never seen it. Here you can see, maximum number of minecarts in a world has been reached. So, just in case you've never seen that message before, I'll be honest, I haven't seen it in quite some time. And basically, if you're curious as to how exactly you do this, you need a lot of minecarts. So, just kind of give you the scale of how many minecarts you can have in a world, you need to place this many and then hide it somehow. I think minecarts are kind of tricky to ban because you need to have this much, and you can see, bear in mind, you can see about 50, maybe 100 here, but then also bear in mind we've got 20 or 30 on this single block here that if we let them go loose, you can see just how many are going to pour out. So yeah, you can have a lot of minecarts, and you can try and compact them because you can place a lot in the same block, but in general, it's going to be tricky to keep this stuff going, and also because when they're rendered in, it does reduce the frame rate a little bit. It might be obvious as to where they are, but you can ban minecarts in that way. Boats are the exact same thing. They have a similar cap, and they're even trickier to place because you have placement in water. There are a few clever ways you can actually place them in a little spin cube. So if we fly over there right now, you can see I did the same thing as arm stands, where you place them in a little hole in the ground like this. It's really cool because you can actually kind of walk over them, even though it doesn't make any sense, and that might be something cool you can do. And those are all the entities you can ban. So there's, there's minecarts, there's boats, there's paintings, there's item frames, there's armor stands, and also you can ban non-hostile mobs. Hostile is a lot more tricky because there's a cap of non-hostile mobs that's somewhere in the region of 100, and if you just have all the sheep in your world, then no one else can have sheep, and that's a very bizarre thing to want to do, but it's something you can do. So if you don't like non-hostile mobs, one, you're a monster, and two, you can actually essentially ban the mobs and the items they drop from the world. So you can't ban wool because it can be made from spiders, spider drops, string. But you can ban leather, for instance, because if you have all the cows and you have all the rabbits, then there's no way people can get leather. So handy little thing that you might not have known. If you just hide them in a little underground fortress, then boom, all the non-hostile mobs are born. So what about things that you can use as currency, or that you might just really hate, or might want to just be like, I'm gonna ration these to people and make it a fun game for a little challenge. So the things that you can do this with, starting with the Aegis collection, is probably going to be stuff like the cacti, stuff like the shrubs, stuff like the the different types of trees. Although there's like maybe 1,000 of one type of tree in your world, if you chop them all down, take all the saplings, no one else can have that tree. Same as the Aegis one here, it's true for the shrub and the dead bush. You find these in deserts and plains biomes alike. You usually only have about a stack of them in your world at any one time. And it's pretty easy to just be like, well, I'm going to, take them all up with shears, and boom, they're all gone now. Cactus, again, it's quite easy. Also, make sure you use shears or they'll be gone. Cactus is the same thing. They'll only spawn in deserts. Once they're all gone, they're all gone. And the cool thing about cactus is you can then smelt them into cactus green, and it works as a currency. As long as people aren't duplicating, and cactus greens are one of the harder things to duplicate, you can use that as a cool currency, and the same thing goes for cobwebs here. So cobwebs are even better, because even if someone does find an abandoned mine shaft that you didn't find somehow, you need silk touch shears to actually mine this stuff, and it makes it pretty cool in that way. So yeah, they're the most obvious things that you can ban that way. You can get cobwebs, you can get shrubs, dead bushes, cacti, any type of sapling, and anything like that removed from your world. In essence, if all you do is go through the effort of taking every single bit of it, hiding it in a chest, and because it's a single chest, it's very, very easy to hide, and it means if you want to be a central bank in the world, I think it has a pretty cool use in that way. So I mentioned a few other currencies and a whole video on that thing, but that's not the key purpose here. So yeah, that's the next category up. These take a little bit of work, maybe, as opposed to like 5 minutes underground, making an underground bunker for minecarts or boats. This will take you about, like an hour maybe of going around the entire world, making sure everything's gone, and then inviting people in and using it as a currency. So yeah, that's something you can do with all these items. Next up, we have the kind of tricky, still in the region of, doable, which is when we're coming to stuff like the biome-specific blocks. So, for instance, if you have a single ocean monument in your world, and you mine the entire ocean monument, then all of the, all the sea lanterns, all the prismarine, all the dark prismarine, etc., can be yours, and, no one else can have any. Admittedly, some of these blocks are respawnable if you kill guardians, but all you have to do is make sure there's no water in the ocean by just covering it up with sand stuff. That's a really tricky example, but stuff like the red sand, take it all, and it's all gone. It's all yours now, and you can do, if you hate red sandstone, you're like, I miss regular sandstone. I think that was the best. I miss the good old days of sandstone that didn't look slightly orange. Then, yeah, you can do that entirely. The same technically is true for a lot of the other blocks in TU31, like granite, but we'll get into that stuff later. It goes true for podzol, it goes true for sponges, especially easy for sponges too. And yeah, basically any block that only generates in one biome, Pactice is another example, you can just do quite easily by being like, well, I'm going to take all of this, put it in a chest, and now what are you going to do about that? So, yeah, these are now taking like 6, maybe 12 hours to, destroy an entire ocean monument. It takes you several tens of hours, or dozens of hours, I guess. But if you want to do that, that's something you can do, and take it off yourself, cover it up with some sand, or like, make it look like it was just an island, and then no one's going to know anything, and maybe only you get to know that stuff. So, yeah, that's what you can do with these blocks now, and that's the next category up. So we're talking like maybe a dozen hours for all of those things. What about the next category of super hard things that you can ban from your world? So you can actually ban people from going to the Nether in your world of Minecraft console. So again, this is a really tricky thing to actually end up doing, because you need to make sure that every single source of lava in your world is gone. Because the thing about, obsidian is it's a non-renewable resource except on the console, because you can find an infinite amount of it in the Nether. So if you just ban access to the Nether and then get rid of all the lava in your overworld, again, that's not an easy task, but it's easier compared to some of the things we're about to go to, then boom, you can ban people from having access to your Nether. Same goes true for the end. If you just make the end portal really well hidden, you destroy everything around it, make it look like it's something else, you can hide access to the end and the end dragon and stuff like that. And, these things take a lot of effort, and I think if you're doing this just because you're like, oh, I don't want my friends to go to the end, then that's a bit weird. But if you want to do it just as a fun proof of concept, like, oh, hey guys, try and go to the Nether. Haha, you can't. I've spent the last 3 weeks getting all the lava from the world. Again, it's something you can do, and it might have a little bit of lava attached to it. But I think we're in the realm of impossibility now. But the next realm of, like, this is crazy, you should stop and maybe stop going crazy on the banning, is other items you can technically ban, but probably shouldn't go for the F off. So, first of all of the ores, so gold ore, iron ore, coal ore, etc., the ores themselves only spawn naturally. You can never get these ores in any other way, which, like, you can get coal, for instance, by killing wither skeletons, but you can't get coal ore in any other way. So this means that you can ban the ores from your world, and in a lot of those cases, because you can only trade for some of those things in villages, then you can ban the whole thing. So for instance, redstone ore, you can ban. I don't believe you can actually trade with villages for redstone, and because villages are a thing, then you can do that whole thing, and that means a lot of redstone-based blocks are going to be impossible. Make sure you check that one before mining all the redstone in the world. Again, we're in the realm of, like, kind of semi-fiction at this point, so I hope that that's a more thing there. So yeah, redstone, any of the ores you can ban from your world. Sand can be entirely banned from your world because it only spawns naturally, just all over the place. And then if we're going to the level of ridiculous, where it's like, no one's ever going to do this, but just in case I wanted to, one of the hardest to ban blocks, but maybe the funniest to ban ones. So this is where we're getting to the point where you don't have a Minecraft world to invite people to, but if you get rid of all the stone from your world, or like regular stone, then you make it so no one has stone, and you can also get rid of all of the, all of the dirt from the world. However, rather than doing any of that stuff, because those last two ones are literally 2-year projects or something like that, rather than spending 2 years removing all the stone from your world, one easy thing I mentioned earlier in the video is you can actually remove all of the wood from your world by chopping down all the trees, throwing it in a chest, chopping down all the saplings, making sure none are visible, and that can just stop people having access to any of this other stuff. So, yeah, that is all the items you can ban from your Minecraft world. It gets a bit more crazy as you go up the list, but I hope you did all enjoy the video. A little bit different to what I usually do, so let me know if you liked it, and stuff like that. And let me know in the comments down below if you have any future video suggestions, because this one came from the suggestions from my comments, so, we can maybe do these again, or maybe if you didn't like it, let me know that too. That's useful information. And, yeah, I hope you did all enjoy the video. If you did, then that's good, and I'll see you all in the next one. I just destroyed a minecart, but the number of minecarts is still reached. Whatever. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.